Vajra is a Sanskrit word meaning both thunderbolt and diamond. Additionally, it is a weapon which is used as a ritual object to symbolize both the properties of a diamond and a thunderbolt. It is also known as Bajra currency oya yena, vajram, bojro, Bajra, dorji, wajra, jīngāng, geumgangjeo, kongōsho and thn euro ochir /th degree n euro Bazar. The vajra is essentially a type of club with a ribbed spherical head. The ribs may meet in a ball-shaped top, or they may be separate and end in sharp points with which to stab. The vajra is used symbolically by the Dharma traditions of Buddhism, Jainism and Hinduism, often to represent firmness of spirit and spiritual power. The use of the vajra as a symbolic and ritual tool spread from India along with Indian religion and culture to other parts of Asia. Early descriptions. In the Rig Veda. The earliest mention of the vajra is in the Rig Veda, a part of 4 Vedas. It is described as the weapon of Indra, the god of heaven and the chief deity of the Rig Vedic pantheon. Indra is described as using the vajra to kill sinners and ignorant persons. The Rig Veda states that the weapon was made for Indra by Tvasta, the maker of divine instruments. The associated story describes Indra using the vajra, which he held in his hand, to slay the asura Vajra, who took the form of a serpent. On account of his skill in wielding the vajra, some epithets used for Indra in the Rig Veda were Vajrabhrit, Vajravat or Varin, Vajradaksina, and Vajrabahu or Vajrasta. The association of the vajra with Indra was continued with some modifications in the later Puranic literature, and in Buddhist works. Buddhasa, a major figure of Theravada Buddhism in the 5th century, identified the Bodhisattva Vajrapani with Indra. In the Puranas. Many later Puranas describe the vajra, with the story modified from the Rig Vedic original. One major addition involves the role of the sage Dadhichi. According to one account, Indra, the king of the Deva, was once driven out of Devaloka by an asura named Vajra. The asura was the recipient of a boon whereby he could not be killed by any weapon that was known till the date of his receiving the boon, and additionally that no weapon made of wood or metal could harm him. Indra, who had lost all hope of recovering his kingdom, was said to have approached Shiva, who could not help him. Indra along with Shiva and Brahma went to seek the aid of Vishnu. Vishnu revealed to Indra that only the weapon made from the bones of the sage Dadhichi would defeat Vajra. Indra and the other Deva therefore approached the sage, whom Indra had once beheaded, and asked him for his aid in defeating Vajra. Dadhichi acceded to the Deva's request but said that he wished that he had time to go on a pilgrimage to all the holy rivers before he gave up his life for them. Indra then brought together all the waters of the holy rivers to Naimisharanya, thereby allowing the sage to have his wish fulfilled without a further loss of time. Dadhichi is then said to have given up his life by the art of yoga, after which the gods fashioned the Vajrayuddha from his spine. This weapon was then used to defeat the asura, allowing Indra to reclaim his place as the king of Devaloka. Another version of the story exists where Dadhichi was asked to safeguard the weapons of the gods as they were unable to match the arcane arts being employed by the asura to obtain them. Dadhichi is said to have kept at the task for a very long time, and finally tiring of the job, he is said to have dissolved the weapons in sacred water which he drank. The Deva returned a long time later and asked him to return their weapons so that they might defeat the asura, headed by Vajra, once and for all. Dadhichi however told them of what he had done and informed them that their weapons were now a part of his bones. However, Dadhichi, realizing that his bones were the only way by which the Deva could defeat the asura, willingly gave his life in a pit of mystical flames he summoned with the power of his austerities. Brahma is then said to have fashioned a large number of weapons from Dadhichi's bones, including the Vajrayuddha, which was fashioned from his spine. The Deva then said to have defeated the asura using the weapons thus created. There have also been instances where the war god Skanda is described as holding a vajra. Skanda is also the name of a bodhisattva in Mahayana Buddhism who wields a vajra. In Vajrayana Buddhism. In Buddhism, the vajra is the symbol of Vajrayana, one of the 3 major branches of Buddhism. Vajrayana is translated as thunderbolt way, or diamond way, and can imply the thunderbolt experience of Buddhist enlightenment or body. It also implies indestructibility, just as diamonds are harder than other gemstones. In Tantric Buddhism, the vajra and ganta are used in many rites by a lama or any vajrayana practitioner of sajna. The vajra is a male polysemic symbol that represents many things for the Tantrika. The vajra is representative of upaya, whereas its companion tool, the bell, which is a female symbol, denotes praja. Some deities are shown holding each the vajra and bell in separate hands, symbolizing the union of the forces of compassion and wisdom, respectively. In the Tantric traditions of Buddhism, the vajra is a symbol for the nature of reality, or sunyata, indicating endless creativity, potency, and skillful activity. The term is employed extensively in Tantric literature. The term for the spiritual teacher is the vajracharya. One of the 5 dhyani Buddhas is Vajrasattva, and so on. The practice of prefixing terms, names, places, and so on by vajra represents the conscious attempt to recognize the transcendental aspect of all phenomena. It became part of the process of sacramentalizing the activities of the spiritual practitioner and encouraged him to engage all his psychophysical energies in the spiritual life. An instrument symbolizing vajra is also extensively used in the rituals of the Tantra. It consists of a spherical central section, with 2 symmetrical sets of 5 prongs, which arc out from lotus blooms on either side of the sphere and come to a point at 2 points equidistant from the center, thus giving it the appearance of a diamond scepter, which is how the term is sometimes translated. Various figures in Tantric iconography are represented holding or wielding the vajra. 3 of the most famous of these are Vajrasattva, Vajrapani, and Padmasambhava. Vajrasattva holds the vajra, in his right hand, to his heart. A figure of the wrathful Vajrapani brandishes the vajra, in his right hand, above his head. Padmasambhava holds the vajra above his right knee in his right hand. Symbolism: the vajra is made up of several parts. In the center is a sphere which represents sunyata, the primordial nature of the universe, the underlying unity of all things. Emerging from the sphere are 2 8-petaled lotus flowers. One represents the phenomenal world, the other represents the noumenal world. This is one of the fundamental dichotomies which are perceived by the unenlightened. The physical manifestation of the vajra, also called dorji in this context, is the male organ. Arranged equally around the mouth of the lotus are 2, 4, or 8 creatures which are called makara. These are mythological half-fish, half-crocodile creatures made up of 2 or more animals, often representing the union of opposites. From the mouths of the makara come tongues which come together in a point. The 5-pronged vajra is the most commonly seen vajra. There is an elaborate system of correspondences between the 5 elements of the noumenal side of the vajra, and the phenomenal side. One important correspondence is between the 5 poisons with the 5 wisdoms. The 5 poisons are the mental states that obscure the original purity of a being's mind, while the 5 wisdoms are the 5 most important aspects of the enlightened mind. Each of the 5 wisdoms is also associated with a Buddha figure. The following are the 5 poisons and the analogous 5 wisdoms with their associated Buddha figures. In popular culture, Paramvichakra, India's highest wartime military decoration, has a motif of vajra, the mythic weapon of Indra created by the bones donated by sage Dadhichi, as tribute to his sacrifice. Bangalore Metropolitan Transport Corporation Volvo B7 RLE services are called as vajra. In the fictional Hatchabusha legend of Heavenly Sphere Shirato has a black vajra as his main weapon. The word vajra is given to a fictional species of alien insects that serve as the main antagonists in the anime Macross Frontier. In Soul Eater, vajra is Asura's weapon. Dorji is the name of a Brighton area rock band. It is the nickname of the Indian Air Force aircraft Mirage 2000. See also, Diamond Sutra, Tibetan art, Phurba, Prajaparamita, Triratna, Trisula, Vajradhara, 3 vajras. References. Further reading, Dalappikala, Anna L. Dictionary of Hindu Law and Legend. ISBN 0-500-51088-1, MacArthur, Mayer. Reading Buddhist Art, An Illustrated Guide to Buddhist Signs and Symbols. Thames and Hudson Limited, 2002. Vesantara. Meeting the Buddhas. Windhorse Publications, 2003. Vesantara. Vajra and Bell. Windhorse Publications, 2001. External links: The Diamond Sutra, also called the Vajrakutta Sutra, available in multiple languages from the FPMT, The Essential Songs of Milarepa/6. Songs about Vajra Love 46. Answer to Dakini Zarima, Vajra Love Essays from the sites of Keith Dowman.